Feeling great. That's always exciting to have a rivalry week, a trophy game. It's going to be a fun week. I'm excited.
How much do you know about the Cy-Hawk rivalry, and what have you kind of learned throughout the last, I guess, couple of days leading into it?
To be honest, I didn't really know much about the whole rivalry itself. I know that there's always a big rivalry. It's a big in-state game. Kind of always in-state rivalries between any team is always big games. But there's not too much that I knew heading into it.
When you went back, look at the film from Albany, just what were kind of your takeaways from that?
Yeah, one of the things is just calm my feet down a little bit, slow everything down, make sure I'm catching it, then punching, getting into my drop, just so I can start seeing everything and just really just trust my throws. And just sometimes just having that like screw it mindset, just we're gonna throw it, we're gonna sling it, and that way we're gonna have more completions that way and get more balls down the field.
Do you think maybe that stemmed from just first game jitters, just the feet work and not letting it loose a little bit?
100%. And that's again the first game jitters a little bit. Just really got to have that mindset going into this week and the rest of the season. Just kind of have that screw it mentality. Like we got to just go out there, play ball, have fun, just play free, and you'll end up playing more fast by doing that.
Does it help that you're going to be playing in an environment where, last week your first game jitters was with the Hawkeye fan base with you, and now you're going to be walking into enemy territory? Does it help that you're going to have a little bit of a different environmental situation for you to make those adjustments?
Yeah, it's kind of nice because, at that point, it's really just like me and the guys that are around me. It's just us going into an enemy territory, enemy stadium, and we just get to be with each other and not really have to worry about anything else.
I know it's not your first time playing a rivalry game. The USD game, the NDSU game are probably some of the bigger FCS rivalry games. Do you thrive on a hostile environment type of energy?
Yeah, it kind of gives you a little bit of chip on your shoulder because you know that nobody's really cheering for you, nobody's really hoping for your success at all. So you really just got to go out there and go play, and it's you and the guys against everybody else that's there. And usually those rivalry games have always been the most fun games for me. So I'm really looking forward to this weekend as well.
Which one of those was the bigger rival? Or to go to state or South Dakota?
You're throwing me a trick question.
Yes, I
always say it's NDSU just because of the heightened of the game. It was always 1 versus 2 or 1 versus 3, or it was top team playing against top team in those games.
What's the key to having success against this Iowa State defense?
One of the biggest things, last year they were one of the #1 pass defense in the country. Just being able to run the football when we need to and just take the gains where we can, and then in the pass game as well, they run a lot of just deep, just trying to protect anything deep over top. So just taking what they're giving us, not trying to press when we don't have to, but then also taking those calculated risks and those calculated shots when they are starting to come down, when we start running the ball a lot more. Forcing those safeties to come down, we can end up throwing it over the top. So just really taking those calculated risks and knowing when we need to take shots versus when we can just check it down and let our playmakers make plays.
Mark, have you played against a defense like that? Because it's one of the more unique kind of sets, but they've had great success with it. But have you played against a defense like that?
It's a new defense for me. I've played it a couple times, but it wasn't ever that team's full go motto. Mm-hmm. They'd always be a kind of a switch up, a curveball that they'd throw into it. So this week it's been kind of nice to just solely focus on that portion of things. And obviously they have a lot of different wrinkles they can run and a lot of different guys in different faces. But we're doing a great job. Coach Lester's done a great job with the film so far, and we've learned a lot about him so far.
We hear often about how unique and difficult it is going against that set. From your perspective, what does make it as difficult as it is?
Yeah, one thing, and just in general, just about the pass game, is most teams are always dropping 7. They're rushing 4, or even sometimes rushing 5, and this team, they're dropping 8. So there's just a lot more guys, a lot more bodies out there. But that also gives us an opportunity in the blocking scheme of just passing. I'll have a lot more time back there, so I can let guys develop. I can go out there, make plays, use my feet a little bit to extend the play, let guys get open and have chances that way.
Our colleague Jeff here did a story on your dad playing in Jack Trice Stadium. Has he given you any advice or told you about his experience playing over there?
No, he hasn't. We haven't talked yet this week. We usually talk a little bit later in the week, but I always do remember him talking about him playing back there, and I think he played at Iowa one time too. So. But he always goes back to his glory days and talks a little bit about that.
When you talk about playing looser, how do you kind of mentally get yourself to do that?
I think it kind of starts leading up to the game, and having that night game, I kind of already played the game multiple times in my head, and I was kind of we always talked about at South Coast State just being at your number throughout the day, and whether that's you want to be calm, be a 1 all day long, and then once you get to the game, get elevated, get more amped up. I felt like I was a little bit more of like an 8-9 all day and kind of really amped up and a little almost too ready to go in the morning. So just making sure that I'm at my number, staying calm throughout the day. What's nice this week is it's an early game, 11 o'clock game, so we kind of just get up, eat a donut, play football, type thing. So just like when you were a kid, so just going out there and playing loose is going to be the big thing.
Xavier said that last year he was on the scout team, didn't even travel, and he goes from that to now being, the feature running back, having the game that he had. From a teammate's perspective, how cool is that to see just the hard work paying off where he's now getting the shine that he's been wanting?
Yeah, it was awesome. And obviously I wasn't here last year during last season, but everyone was saying in all the Devo practices when he was getting reps against the Devo scrimmages, I guess, he was killing it, and he was running the ball super hard, and he was gaining yards here and there. And then this spring, he had an awesome spring, and we knew that coming into this year that he was going to have a great opportunity to play, get some reps, and obviously you saw that on Saturday and how great he was.
A lot of these games come down to special teams converting, and your kicker hit 55 and their kicker hit 63. What does it mean for you to, one, see Drew be able to knock down a career long to start the season for him, but also knowing that these are two kickers that can and will take it down to the wire if they need to?
Yeah, and it's awesome to have a weapon like that in the special teams game, and not only him but Reese. Reese had a couple bombs and punts, or just a hang time. The hang time was crazy, and then also just punting at 47 yards and that the guy had to catch it and fair catch it. So having those guys in special teams as weapons, and also offensively, when we only have to get to the 40-yard line to get into field goal range, whether that's 2-minute drill or just on any drive, it makes it a lot easier for us.
When you looked at the film from last week, how much of it was fixable for you?
I almost think all of it was fixable. I think I just kind of slowing down my mentality and being able to see things out there, and just relaxing while I'm in the pocket is going to really calm my feet down and be able to see things. And then also just having that screw it mentality that I'm just going to sling it, throw it to guys that are open, and knowing that sometimes guys aren't going to be perfectly open, and I have to throw them open as well. So just giving those guys those opportunities to make plays.
Could you walk me through the play on the first drive? You had Sam in the end zone, and it looked like he was just so open.
Yeah, no, he was so open. It was one of those things. My eyes got really big. Ball just kind of slipped out of my hands a little bit, and I wasn't able to finish the throw. So if I could redo that one, I would do that one over 100 times out of 100. And I've made that throw a million times in practice, and I just got to go out there and play loose.
Anything you say to Sam after you miss him like that?
I did give him a good sorry, because that would have been his first touchdown, my first touchdown, and it would have been an exciting way to start out the season.
Just opening up the downfield passing game, you just talked about it, but is it more mental than physical, and what is it different between Albany and Iowa State with downfield passing?
Yeah, one against Albany, when we were kind of going back watching the film, they did do a couple things that were a little bit different than we were expecting, and they got lucky on some calls when we were trying to get those downfield shots called. They ended up running a post safety defense trying to protect those posts, and they basically made us limit us and throw checkdowns when we wanted to call those shots. But now this week, again, they play soft. They're back there. They drop 8 guys. So really being selective of when we're going to take those shots. We got to be able to run the ball first to make those guys come down, stop the run, so then we can eventually hit the run. But hit the passes over top. But it all starts with the run game this week.
Mark, you've played and won a lot of big games. You've had a lot of bounce back performances. Kind of take me through the process of trying to bounce back. Is it staying true to the process? Is it having conversations with coaches? Is it just doing a self-mental evaluation? But how have you kind of come back throughout your career when you need a bounce back?
Yeah, I think it just starts with getting back into the film room and kind of understanding where those things were lacking throughout the week, or throughout the game, the last game. And one thing that I like doing on that Monday when we first get back is kind of go back and go through all the throws that I missed, because I've made a lot of those throws millions of times. And I talked with Coach Ferentz about it, and he's like, "Hey, you've made those throws. Just go out there and do it. There's nothing else you got to think about. Just go out there and just do it out there." So just going out there on practice and working on those throws with the guys, and then heading into next week, just having that confidence that I am the player that I am. I've made all those throws in the field. Just be who I am, and I can make those.
Obviously, you want a lot of those plays back, but is there a part of you that kind of sees the silver lining of, when you guys really kind of leaned on the rush game, a lot of the stuff in the passing side of the playbook is not on tape for Iowa State to see?
Yeah, and at that point, when you start running the ball in the second half, when we started running the ball a lot more in the second half, and we're getting 10 yards a carry, it's kind of hard to not go away from that. We got great guys up front, and if you can get 10 yards a carry, that's a first down every play. So I'm not mad about it. It's a team game in the end of it. And if we're running the ball that well, we're just going to keep running it.
I missed the rivalry talk. What have your teammates told you about this?
Well, a lot of guys, I mean, this is always one of the biggest rivalries, and just always being an in-state rivalry, and growing up, like, this was always the one that everyone was always looking forward to, and a lot of guys are looking forward to it this week. I didn't know much about the Cy-Hawk game going into this, coming into Iowa, but we've learned a lot about it, and the intensity and the workup of practice has been a lot more this week than it has been, or at least in the summer and everything else. So.